on this beautiful day, and I'm here with the one and only Janelle Hill in Central Park. And who are you today, Janelle?
Today I'm delighting, and I feel like a delightful one. My name is Janelle. I am a mom and wife here in New York. I am a facilitator, a connection coach, a spiritual director, a friend, and a lover of strangers.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, thanks for sharing. If I was to ask you, what is Street Connect NYC? How would you answer that in as many words as you like?
Street Connect is a video series that displays meaningful connections between strangers. It's a series where I get to intentionally connect with the people of New York City and offer space, a listening ear, in kind of today's society where we don't really stop to bear witness to the story and existence of others. It gives me the opportunity to do that. It didn't start off that way. It started off kind of like as a way for me to like build my coaching brand, and it turned into a way for me to be grounded in the city and to feel like I was offering something that helped me feel more connected and more in tune with what my calling and purpose is.
Wonderful. A connection video series that evolved as you started doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
Wonderful. And I've had the good fortune to see a number of Janelle's videos. They're great. I think Janelle is an amazing facilitator of discussion and conversation from what I've seen, and also as I've known you over the years.
Thank you.
This is our first time meeting in person.
Can you believe it?
Can you believe it?
I love this guy so much. Can I just say, okay, I'm sorry to interrupt or whatever.
Please.
But from the moment I met Tony, it was like love. It felt like home. We felt like kindred spirits to like be moving in the connection space in the way that we were, and then to be able to hold space for each other through some like beautiful high moments, through like moments where we're trying to figure things out, and then also like low or sad moments as well. It's been such a gift to like feel known and like seen, even from like across, well, not across the pond, but like, you know what I mean, like
across an international border.
Yeah. And I just feel so grateful to have met you and to be able to call you a friend.
Thank you.
For so many years. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like my friend from the first time, and like it's just been lovely.
Thank you. And the feeling is completely mutual. I'm deeply grateful for our connection, and that when I sent you a note not too many weeks ago that, hey, I think I'm coming to New York City, do you want to meet in person, that you were very welcoming, and
I was very excited.
And here we are spending some time in the real world together. Can you imagine?
Know.
So thank you for saying that. It's amazing. Yeah, likewise. Friendships can form and develop if we just put a little effort into maintaining them, which doesn't necessarily mean checking in with someone every day, but if you're going to be in a town or a place where you know someone who you know or known, I offer that it's worth putting out a message of like, hey, can I check in with you and connect with you? Because you might be pleasantly surprised to know and see that the person on the receiving end is very happy to have some time and space with you. So thank you for welcoming me.
Indeed.
And if we pop back to a little bit more about this Street Connect NYC, can you share a bit about how that's impacted you, meeting strangers and asking them some pretty deep questions?
I think I've become even more aware of myself through the lens of like choosing to be with other people. Like starting Street Connect was easy in some sense because I was always talking to people, like just like very casually, you know, like as like the cashier, I'm the one who like holds up the line, or like will have a really lovely, deep like conversation with people like in passing. So like choosing to do it intentionally was a different step, because I said, okay, I'm gonna go out to do this instead of just like happening upon the people I see. And I realized that I was often surprised by people. And I feel like the only way that you are like kind of surprised in a sense is if you already have an idea in your mind of like how this interaction is going to go.
Right.
So then it kind of made me more aware of like my stereotypes and judgments going into like interactions with people, and how like the things I was holding before I sat down and talked with somebody, or before I chose even someone to talk to. So like it helped me to like tune into other people and like their story and what they're bringing, but also tune into myself and like the misconceptions, preconceptions, judgments that I hold, and to like actively address and combat them in my daily life. So like it's become more of a posture that I didn't really know that I needed to shift my posture in that way.
Amazing. I can totally relate to that as well. As my experience of intentionally meeting new people I've very often been pleasantly surprised that when I, for example, go to strike up a conversation with someone I don't know who looks like they're plugged into, this happened on the subway on my way up to meet you. Someone had earbuds in and they didn't look open. They weren't exhibiting open body language. But when I tapped the person on the shoulder and wanted to comment on this cool bag that he had, he was totally happy to chat with me, and actually afterwards thanked me for saying hello. I love that you've experienced this different than you expected, and this new perspective through meeting other people. Could you offer a thought for people who aren't so comfortable just randomly coming up to people on the street and asking them about some deep truths, like about why it's worthwhile to interact with people who you don't know? And I mean, like, not necessarily that anyone watching is going to go start their own social initiative, but just in general.
You might.
But you might. But why is it worthwhile to connect with people you don't know?
Loneliness and isolation, disconnection is like high. Wherever you are, I think it's present. That there are often times when you can be in a room full of people and still feel alone. I live in a city where we're like often shoulder to shoulder. It's not evidenced here in this video, but you know, I live in New York City where, you know, we're very much on top of each other, you know, shoulder to shoulder, and people still feel alone. Right. I feel like social media has made it so that you feel like you're like connected to people, and then when you shut it off, it's like, oh wow, I was like siloed by myself here in this space. So I think to snap ourselves and other people out of that and to have like a moment is grounding. It's heartwarming. I've never regretted stopping to, like, I feel like I have a luxury of time, or I try to live with like a luxury of time. When I do stop and engage with people, it fills my tank. And I think it can do that for others. And if it feels hard, just like Tony just said, one of the easiest ways to like initiate a conversation is through triangulation. There's something in common, like you just make mention of it. Like, hey Tony, I didn't say this before, but I really love your glasses. Like,
well, thank you.
The blue color is just like popping. And then, you know, you make a comment about something that you can appreciate about a stranger, like something maybe that you see or something that you're noticing, not just the weather, because that's very, I don't know, it's expected. But something a little unexpected, it can spark up conversation because people like to talk about themselves. Or things, if you already find common ground.
There could be a story behind the cool article of clothing or whatever as well, So you'd suggest that people could try this technique to connect with other people, and then beyond the fact that it seems like an epidemic of loneliness around the world right now, you'd say like it could just be good for people. There's, of course, as you're aware, there's plenty of research to prove that it is really good for us to connect with other people. Even these micro interactions, like having a slightly longer than 5-second transactional interaction with your barista, but actually asking them and really waiting for the answer about how their day is really going, is proven to lift your mood and their mood as well. And so I think people absolutely can take these small steps, even if they're not comfortable meeting strangers. Right,
and you can initiate that too, because people will say, how are you? Like, often it may be helpful, like, for you to get in the practice of when somebody asks you how you are, to take a beat and to check in with yourself, which will be like connective and like slow you down a little bit, and to respond honestly. to just say, today was kind of rough. Like,
If it was, yeah.
or whatever it is, even in that moment can be healing for you, and like can snap someone out of their like vicious cycle as well, which is a gift.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Janelle, for your time and your presence with me today. I see it as a true blessing to get to spend time with you
Likewise.
in the real world, and as it has been virtually over years past. How could people find out about your work, or where could people go to see some of the work that you've done?
So you can find me on Instagram at streetconnect.nyc, or you can find my like personal page, which is like also me talking to strangers, but also just sharing my thoughts, which is Janelle Hill _ on Instagram. I think that's the main place to find me.
Awesome.
I guess you can find my website too, janellehill.com.
There you go. Wonderful. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So good to see you. And thanks for sharing your thoughts for this production.
Thank you for listening.
All right. Cheers. Boom. Done in one. And this snow tripod came in, pulled through for us. We can have a lovely day.
You too.
Thank you.